welcome back again, guys. This is the GSL Code S round of 8. It is the quarterfinals. We just saw FXO Leenock take out TSL alive 3-0. And now we are going to see an awesome TVT, just like you saw our awesome sponsors just a moment ago. Our desk is really starting to look like a gamer desk, isn't it? Look, we've got like multiple Mountain Dew cans and stuff like that. Pepsi gives us free pop here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Keldor, pop or soda?
Pop.
All right, good man. Yeah, this guy, he knows what to call carbonated beverages. That's why I like you so much, Keldor.
Likewise.
You're a good trainer, too. I can feel this jacket getting tighter already.
Yeah, Doa has been going to the gym with me.
That's right.
What do you call it? Muscle macro?
Muscle macro with Keldor, that's right. We're macroing up my muscles.
Yeah, it's been good fun.
Unfortunately, I do miss supply depots once in a while. Yep. But, don't forget about this here. Winner prediction, go to GOMTV.net, sign up, and then you can pick who the winner is going to be. I mean, you can't pick who the winner is going to be, but you can guess who the winner is going to be. And it's just kind of fun. Yeah, if you're into like Liquibet and stuff like that, like I am, a lot of other people are, then you can do it as well on GOMTV. They've got a nice little graph thing set up. I tweeted about it, actually. You can follow my link on my Twitter. Actually, you can follow GOMTV at GOMTV on Twitter. You can follow me at GoSuDoa. And you are just Keldor, right?
Yeah, exactly.
At Keldor. So, yeah. Definitely check us out on Twitter as well. A lot of good news coming from that source. But let's move on, shall we, to our next
First of all,
match.
Before we talk about the matchup, we have a lot of time to do that. I want to mention one more thing, because I checked some of the comments on Team Liquid, and actually a lot of guys really thought it pretty cool that we mentioned Sika, who has created a lot of those threads on Team Liquid. And I think that we should definitely point that out a lot more. Sika has been doing a lot of these threads where he just put in all those information about the Code S and Code A as well. So I really like that. And there has been a recent blog post on Team Liquid as well by In Control, for example, where he pointed out that people should get involved more in esports and what options you have to push and promote esports, and I think that's one of the things that you should do. So people like Sika are really awesome. They're putting a lot of time and effort into just giving out those information and making people a little bit more aware of what's happening. So I really appreciate that. So thanks to you guys out there.
Well, I want to say, too, I mean, we're all busy people, too, and if all you have time for is just to watch and enjoy StarCraft 2 matches, that's perfectly fine, too. But if you can, lend your talents in another way to help out esports, that's even better. So if you're already a fan, that's awesome. If you want to be more than a fan, go for it,
And talking about talent, we have a very talented player, Terran player. It is SC. And that guy, he has a 55% win ratio overall. Not only taking the GSL games into consideration, he won 43 games, lost 35. And his last 3 matches in TVT were against Marine King Prime at MLG. He played him 2 times, actually, in the group stage. And he lost in the final with 3-4, but he was able to take an earlier best-of-3 with 2-1.
Look out behind you, Marine. There's another Marine that looks exactly like you, and he's going to shoot you in the back.
That's
Marine
called
has no
friendly
idea.
fire.
I guess so. Never seemed too friendly to me. There is this guy. He is not friendly to any opponent. I'm MVP. One of the best Terrans. Actually, most people would consider him the best player in StarCraft 2 right now. I think that may be changing, but at the moment, he's on top.
That guy is just a monster. He is just merciless. And especially in the Terran versus Terran matchup, 73% win ratio, 94 wins, 35 losses. He took out MKP at the MLG with 2-0. He took out Bomber with 2-0. He defeated Rain with 2-0. And obviously he took the Arena of Legends final as well in a Terran versus Terran matchup with 3-2 against Slayer's Ganji. That guy is a machine.
I gotta say, too, he's also one of the nicest pro gamers you could ever meet, too. I mean, he's like, he walks in the studio, sees me, he's like, oh, hi, and everything. And so he's just like a really friendly guy. So it's great to see him do well, I guess, as well.
And he did pretty well. He already won $214,000 in his StarCraft 2 career. And that's only prize money, so that guy is really good. SC was able to pick up a little bit of, some dollars on the way, but only 16,000, so that's a small difference.
Well, SC, he's a player I feel like he could have been, much more successful by now. About a month ago, he had some medical trouble and lost a lot of practice time, and since then, he really hasn't been the same player, I think. I think he's steadily improving again, personally, but he's definitely been sort of held back a little bit by some outside-of-the-game issues. So we're seeing him start to overcome those, but has he overcome them to a degree to take out a player like I'm MVP? I don't know, man. It's going to be very difficult, but I think he can do it. I think he's got a chance.
He definitely has a chance. We all know that in a mirror match, everything can happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
There they are.
MVP is nearly unbeatable, but not totally unbeatable. In TVT, he has lost to a couple Terrans along the way. Lost to MMA in the finals, lost to Bomber a while back.
Look at him working at the air conditioning like, hey, this thing is not working. I can't play like that.
Yeah, you got to have it very specific, man. I mean, especially if it's cold in there. It's really tough to play when your hands are cold.
And it's so cold in Korea right now.
Oh, it's getting there,
my
yeah.
God. 2 weeks ago, I was running around in shorts, and now it's just freezing.
Yeah, it's getting to be like close to freezing Fahrenheit. Or Fahrenheit, if I want to say it. Because it is a German word originally, isn't it?
Well, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't know,
like
because Fahrenheit...
Yeah? When you say it sounds very German.
Yeah, Fahrenheit sounds pretty German, but it doesn't actually make all that much sense, so I don't know if it's really originated in Germany.
I don't know. It's interesting. We'll have to do some research on that. I'm sure Twitter will tell us.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Twitter always knows. They can tweet at you at Keldor, or tweet at me at GoSuTama. Or tweet at GOMTV, tell them what Fahrenheit means. Go for it.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the first game, SC versus MVP, Terran versus Terran. We'll be back in a few short seconds for the first game on Tal'Daram Altar.
All right, thank you to our wonderful sponsors down at the bottom left part of the map in the red from the team MVP, a very strong Terran player. He is
MVP SC 테란은 반드시 승리한다.
Yeah. Exactly. Does he have what it takes though to beat?
He looks a little bit nervous.
This guy. He always looks a little bit nervous. Up in the blue, it is.
I am MVP. 아무나 덤벼보시지.
Ditto. They call him the Game Genie Terran. His skills are so good, it's like he's got mad hacks, Keldor.
And I have another piece of information. We have Tal'Daram Altar. It's the first map, and actually those two were playing on Tal'Daram Altar before. It was in the GSL as well, and MVP took that map. So this is basically a rematch on the same map, and MVP might be able to decide that game in his favor. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but one thing worth mentioning before Dora jumps in again, we have gas first by MVP.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So instead, I'll just talk about the winner prediction.
Sorry.
Looks like a lot of people expecting I'm MVP to advance. Not too surprising. It's okay. It's okay. One of us was going to have to say it. As long as one of us says it. That's the important thing, right?
No, I feel bad. I feel seriously bad, Ram.
No, you shouldn't
butting
feel
in
bad.
like that.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm having fun casting with you, man. It's all good. All right. So, gas first. I'm going to say it anyway, apparently. Gas first for MVP.
We can't stress it.
It's the only interesting thing that's happening in the game right now to talk about. So it's...
Well, we have cross positions. That's worth mentioning as well. So MVP starting with the gas first, and therefore he has a fast attack than his opponent.
Yeah.
Whereas SC now is, he has gas as well. His tech will be a little bit later, but he's going to throw down a factory in only a few seconds, I guess. Yeah, both of them. That's the scout. Will he be able to deny that scout? Yep, looks like it.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh,
nice little body blocking by that Marine as well. Did he get close enough to see the factory, though?
I don't think so. Nope, he didn't. He only saw the barracks.
Oh, looks like a reactor at Hellion opening from SC. We'll have to see what MVP plans on doing here. Putting down a tech lab himself. Could be Banshees without cloak. You notice he didn't get a second gas. That's a possibility.
Well, with a gas first, usually get like Banshees. I feel that very few turns actually only going for the Hellions, only for the factory. But you mentioned already there is no second gas, so we won't see any play with a
Won't be cloak or anything, yeah.
With a cloak, yeah, sorry. I was a little bit confused right there because on my screen I just saw the barracks heading off and I was like, is he seriously going for some Blue Flame Hellion play right now? And then I realized that the starport was already being built. I didn't see that before.
You still see it every once in a while. You still do see that that Blue Flame Hellion drop every once in a while in TVT. Again, you know, we've mentioned before the debate over whether or not it's worth it to get Blue Flame early in TVT is still raging. I meet a lot of pro gamers who say it is. I meet a lot of pro gamers who say it's not.
And I have the feeling that SC might be in a little bit of trouble. Now, okay, we don't have cloak, so he should be fine. But he has 2 bases to defend because he's getting that command center right now, and he doesn't have all that much anti-air on the map. We only have 2 Marines.
Well, the real difficulty is that the Marines he has aren't going to have stim either. It's going to be really tough to chase down those Banshees, even without cloak. So MVP should be able to do some early damage here.
As he's probably getting a Viking. He's already getting the starport, so I expect that he's producing at least 1 Viking as soon as he realizes that his opponent is going for the Banshee play. There's the Viking immediately as the starport finishes. He's starting with the anti-air unit.
It's a good idea. Second Banshee on the way, but that's going to have to be used more defensively, as he probably won't send that one all the way over once he sees the Viking is out.
So he was able to pick off one of the Hellions with the Banshee and is getting expansion himself. So both of them now with a little bit of Harris units. MVP's Banshee won't be able to deal all that much damage in the main base of his opponent. Not with a Viking around. That won't happen.
All right, so what I'm really curious about is MVP going to go into mech play, or is he going to go bio this time around? I would imagine SC is probably going to go bio. He's traditionally preferred that. Oh, that Banshee is not going to do a lot of damage. He's like, I wish I had cloak. I should have sprung the extra mineral.
Yeah, not killing anything at all.
Yep. Sad short life for that Banshee. More barracks on the way, so it looks like MVP will be following this up with some bio play this time around. Which is kind of interesting. He's known to be able to play both styles, but lately he has been favoring mech.
In terms of the SCV count, of the Harvester count, we both are at 27. It's kind of interesting to see that we have 2 reactors now for MVP, while his opponent is now focusing on the tech lab play. He's getting another factory, so double factory with upgrades, with add-ons. It's not bad. The tech lab, 1 with a reactor. Oh, and immediately the scan by MVP. That was a nice one. Blue Flame coming up.
Yeah. That's a good scan timing by MVP. Usually you want it's a little bit later than most Terrans wait to scan, but he caught it exactly the right time. Sees that SC is going mech, and so now he's got time to prepare, of course. So we are going to see mech against bio, which I'm very excited about. I love seeing mech versus bio because that's another debate that rages right now in TVP is which is better. A lot of top players will tell you that mech is generally better, but you've got a lot of top players like MMA that play exclusively bio almost. So, I don't know. I always love seeing this clash. See who comes out on top.
We had a pretty good scan for SC going off in the main base of MVP, by the way. He saw that command center of his opponent and scouted every single production facility that MVP has right now. So that was kind of an interesting bunch of information that he got there. At the same time, upgrades-wise, we have Stimpack and Combat Shield now for MVP, going for that for that bio play that you already mentioned. Is getting already his engineering bay in order to start the upgrades for the Marines, whereas his opponent is now finishing the Blue Flame upgrade, and he has 1 Medivac as well, so he can drop into his opponent's main base. And if MVP doesn't see that, he could lose a lot of SCVs and therefore the economy that he needs to keep up with his opponent.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if that drop can do any danger at all. MVP looks like he's pretty well positioned to stop that at this point, so I think SC is going to have his work cut out for him if he does decide to do that Blue Flame Hellion drop. And there's some Hellions coming out right now. Now MVP certainly knows that it's Blue Flame Hellions. No concussive shell yet for those Marauders either, so that Hellion will get away. And, looks like SC is going to try to be really careful with this.
And there's the Medivac. The Medivac is heading towards the base of his opponent now, so this is going to be a drop play. Here it goes. The Medivac already loading up those units. Will the Viking be able to scout that? I'm not too sure about it. Actually, it doesn't. The Viking doesn't scout it, and here's the drop at the expansion, trying to take out those Harvesters, but the Marines and Marauders are in position.
Oh, he's got to run. Oh man, he might actually lose this. Yeah, dropping off the Hellions is a good idea because that Medivac's days are numbered, Kaldor. There it goes. So yeah, like I was saying, MVP just really well prepared for that drop play from SC.
Both players now getting ready for the third base. Both of them are getting a fourth at the same time. So both of them are just going for that macro game.
Yep.
And that's something that we see on Tal'Darim Altar quite often. Usually the Terran versus Terran games on this maps are quite long.
Yeah, MVP going big time Bio, producing a lot more barracks here. You know, Tal'Darim Altar is a good map for Bio versus Mech. You've got a lot of room to move around, do drops, a lot of room to be positional. Oh, looks like SC will take out that one Viking. And now is the point, as you can see, where MVP can go out there, start taking a little bit of map control. Mech is, of course, a lot more mobile. Oh, this is an interesting push-out timing for SC here, if he is actually going to go through it. There's 2 Ravens as well to soak up Marauder shots.
And look at that, he needs to be careful. There are a lot of tanks. Those Marauders are definitely in a tough spot when those tanks start firing.
Yeah, this is a really early push timing for SC if he decides to go through with it. I think he's just trying to be a little bit, you know, bold looking. He trying to look a little bit scary, you know, trying to say, hey man, I can actually make your Marauders pretty much worthless for a lot of this fight if we fight right now.
Well, he kind of has to move out as soon as MVP is able to just start dropping and attacking at the same time, so opening up 2 fronts against MVP. The mobility of his mech army will put him to a disadvantage, SC that is. So pushing out just a tiny little bit in order to catch MVP early on and tell him, hey, I'm aware of what you're doing, I'm here, so back off, or we will just fight that out. It was a really smart idea. And we have A8 army supply against 73 and MVP still not ready to fight. He's getting more upgrades. He already has 1 attack upgrade, he's getting the second one, armor upgrade as well. And SC just now finishing the siege mode for his tanks.
Yeah. Huh.
And pushing out slowly but steadily with his army. He's still trying to look for MVP's army.
You know what's a bit surprising about this right now is that MVP is not being very aggressive with his army right now. He's not doing a lot of drops. He's just kind of moving around the map a little bit. He's letting SC macro up and get upgrades right now. Don't know if that's the best idea. Oh, looks like they might actually fight. And MVP running away. I love that SC isn't throwing away point defense drones. A lot of players would be like, oh, there's a fight. Use all the energy. But SC is playing very patiently. He's moving really far ahead, though. I don't know. This might be a little bit vulnerable to move so far ahead like this, but he's got a good siege up on the natural.
He has a brilliant position. SC is in a very good spot right now. And MVP, he is struggling. He's ahead in supply. But still, look at that. He has a beautiful position and forces his opponent to lift up his orbital. But what is MVP doing? He just he's going for the counterattack.
Well, here's the danger of pushing out like this early on, is you leave yourself very vulnerable to a counterattack like this. And SC having to pull back right now. He might end up trapping the army of MVP.
Here we go, taking out some of the tanks, stimming in, trying to kill as many siege units as possible before they're able to deal the damage they need to. At the back, we have the Hellions. Oh!
Hellions coming in, but not quite able to do the damage. He needs to lift that command center. He didn't do it quite soon enough, but the Marines are getting taken out by the Hellions. Just a bunch of Marauders left. This may have been a bit of a miscalculation by MVP. He's doing a lot of damage, but he's losing his entire army. Uh-oh. That may have been a bit of a misstep by MVP. You can see he doesn't have a lot of units left right now.
Well, actually his opponent lost a lot more supply than he did. The main problem for him was that at the same time, well, he made good use of the higher mobility of his army. MVP had a problem of SC had a problem of getting back in time in order to defend against that, especially because his tanks were so slow. And here we go again. Nice timing for MVP to move in. How many tanks will he be able to kill? He's taking out a lot of Hellions. The other point defense drones.
I think MVP made a big miscalculation moving into the natural like that with that army. SC though has to be very careful too. He's actually almost overextending a little bit now. Yeah, this is these guys, man. They're just getting a little bit too aggressive this game because MVP is going to crush this army right now. Yeah, look at that.
Very well done by MVP. He's taking out so many tanks. That attack at the natural, by the way, cost SC about 18 workers, so that wasn't all too bad. And MVP is able, with all the production facility that he has, I mean, look in his main base, he has so many barracks right now, so he can reproduce his army quite fast, where SC needs a lot more time to do that.
What's the worker count right now?
The worker count is now like 61 for MVP and only 44 to SC because of those SCVs that he lost, so that was an attack.
you know, that was a little bit surprising how SC pulled those SCVs so early in that attack. His Hellions were almost there to start distracting the units. So. And generally you don't want to land Vikings against Marauders, but SC is going to try it anyway. That experiment will show him that you don't want to do that in the future.
Well, he's like 5 base against 3 right now, so this is a pretty nice situation to be in. He has 2-1 upgrades, he's getting the second armor upgrade as well. And I have to say, MVP has a very nice position in his game. He has a decent lead with a 26 Marauders and 38 Marines.
Yeah, MVP definitely in control of this game now. He's playing it how he should, taking a lot of bases, letting his opponent kind of come to him. I think SC is playing this mech style a little bit too aggressively here, especially losing these Hellions like this. I mean, he's not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage with these. And you kind of need the buffer when that big attack happens.
The problem for SC is he needs to do some damage to the economy of his opponent. He knows that MVP is far ahead and he needs to just do something to hold that attack off of MVP. And MVP made a brilliant decision when he decided to move out when his opponent was just attacking him, because he realized that it would take ages for SC to arrive back at his main base. And while SC was able to pull the Blue Flame Hellions back, his tanks were just so slow that they didn't arrive there in time. He lost a bunch of SCVs, he lost a lot of his units, and MVP was just looking really good there. And even though his forces got cleaned up, he got the time in order to replenish his army, to rebuild it.
Yeah. Oh, more Viking harassment here. We'll see if this one lasts longer than the last one.
And upgrade-wise, MVP is looking so good. He's maxed out now against 150 supply.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, he's going to be able to kill some SCVs. Ooh, pulling SCVs off the line to attack these Hellions. Man.
SC is doing quite a good job at harassing his opponent's economy. He killed 27 workers. He was so right now they are about even in regards to the worker count. But with that many bases, MVP just has way more mules than his opponent, and he is just getting more and more bases the whole time. He's getting a 5th one right now and a 6th command center as well. So that guy is just going all out on expansions, and he certainly can afford it. He still has 700 minerals banked up, and he already got his +3 attack upgrade nearly done, and the +2 armor, so that is brilliant.
Yep, it's going to be pretty tough for SC to take any more bases at this point.
Yeah.
SC's going to have to, I don't know, he's going to have to just be really positional. You can't be in more than one place at once, and the expansions beyond the 3rd are pretty far away for a player that's playing mech on this map.
God, look at that. He's getting even more bases. MVP.
Yeah.
That guy is just crazy.
MVP, you know, he's just running away with this game right now. It almost looks like a TVZ where the Terran plays 2 defensively and the Zerg is just like, all right, I'm just going to take the map.
SC is contained on 3 bases, and the only hope he has is moving out and killing the whole army of MVP and just rolling over the bases of MVP, but that's not going to happen, even though that's a quite scary force.
Whoa, he is maxed, so this is the time to push out for SC.
Oh, but beautiful. Look at MVP just stimming in, forcing SC to siege up his tanks, immediately retreating, and that will delay the push of SC so much. MVP is just getting, well, he's just playing with his opponent right now, but he still needs to be careful. SC is maxed out as well.
Oh, his Helling's getting a little bit far ahead. The thing is now with SC moving out like this does take a little bit of pressure off of him. He basically says, all right, I'm moving out with a max mech army. You need to do something about this MVP or I will kill you. So now it's really all on MVP to position his army properly, to deal with this, because SCV is just going to, or SC rather, is going to just try to roll slowly towards space.
At the same time, with a little bit of drop play, MVP could do a lot of damage to SC right now, because he has so many bases in a base trade scenario. He would certainly win, or at least have the upper hand.
Yep. And SC using some more Hellions. Oh, big chunk of MVP's army taken out there, though. And that's the thing, MVP's army is starting to look a little bit small as medevacs are all out of energy as well.
Yeah, he has to be careful. That's quite a scary force. I mentioned it before. He is not allowed to lose all of them, but he needs to delay that push a little bit. He has so many bases, so if he's able to, he should probably build a couple of additional barracks in order to remax, and he's stimming just like crazy. Look at that army.
Yeah,
nearly no hit points left.
That's the thing. One good tank hit is going to kill like half that army. And this is the problem with playing mech against, or playing bio against mech rather, is that there will be a time if you keep trying to engage the edges of the big maxed army that your units are going to run out of health, your medevacs are going to run out of energy. SC moving in with his SCVs, here we go!
At the same time, we have MVP going for the base trade, though. No, he's moving back now, trying to defend nonetheless. What is he doing? He seems to be a little bit indecisive.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's at a point here where he can't really engage the army. His units are too low on health. The medevacs can't heal them up quickly enough. He is going to try to go for this base trade.
And he should.
He should, yeah, it's very true. And that's those siege tanks, depending on how much units those bio have. Oh, here we go. It's moving into the natural.
At the bottom.
Look at that.
SC already has some tanks in position.
The bio was so low on health. Yeah, MVP making some classic bio versus mech blunders here in this game.
Yeah, he didn't have enough. He simmed way too often for the amount of medivacs that he had in that mix. So if SC is actually winning right now, it's because MVP made some serious mistakes. He should have gone for the base trade way earlier, or get more medivacs in order to have the ability to drop and make up for those hit points that he loses every time he uses Stim.
Well, SC actually played this game really, really, really well. I mean, he was very patient. He waited. MVP was a little bit, we'll see how this goes. MVP trying to push in here. Still a couple of siege tanks. Looks like SCV will be pushed back ever so slightly. Yeah, MVP will clean him out there. But when it all comes down to it, about 50 supply ahead for MVP SC right now. And basically, MVP has a lot more bases. He kept all of his production buildings, so that was good. Still got a chance here.
He's very oh, here he comes again, trying to take out the siege tanks, but will he be able to get all of them? He needs to move in a little bit closer and pick up the injured ones.
Yeah.
At the same time, I have to mention he's down on 20 SCVs, but he has so many orbitals that he can afford a ton of mules, and that's what he did.
I think MVP is going to clean up this army right here. The tanks are not sieged up. He's going to save this base, it looks like. But another big force moving across the map for SC right now. I think what SC needs to do right now is sit back, regroup a little bit. Wasn't able to take a fourth, though, so his time is definitely limited. Yeah, you see he's having to float the command center from his natural over to where he wants to put that fourth base.
The problem for SC right now is he's still ahead in supply, but he is mined out at all three bases, whereas MVP has a lot of income and is able to deal with the force of his opponent bit by bit, and he will come out ahead in this fight if he's able to deny that fourth base, and I think that's exactly what he's trying to do, but SC already sieging up with his tanks, and no way.
Yeah, MVP, you know, he's still about 50 supply down right now.
I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with MVP's play. He's making so many mistakes. He looked pretty good to me in the earlier stages of the game, especially when he decided to push out. But now he's not using scan. He doesn't know about the fourth base of his opponent. He's not dropping. That would be the perfect time to start dropping his opponent's bases, but he just doesn't do it.
It's interesting to see the different take on Bio versus Mech TVT between MVP and MMA. MMA would be doing a lot of drops like that, putting a lot of pressure on his opponent, where MVP is trying to basically just come at his opponent from a lot of different angles at once and get those positional advantages with his army versus the other player's army. That's not working quite as well yet. Yeah, these units aren't going to be able to do it either. SC really can't push out per se, but MVP can't really break SC quite yet.
I just have no idea why he's not making use of his mobility, because with the drop play, he can just try to avoid the siege tanks. But what MVP does right now, he's just going straight for his opponent's main base, straight going for the main choke, and obviously SC is going to expect exactly that. So just try to be a little bit less predictable.
Well, this is really interesting. There's a lot of different ways to play Bio versus Mech. And I think SC is really good at kind of seeing things coming, is really good at having that map awareness. So MVP really hasn't been able to take him off guard here.
At the bottom right, there is one Hellion that just took out 11 additional SCVs of MVP.
Oh yeah, you guys didn't see it, but there was right there. There used to be a bunch of SCVs there. Now there's just one proud Hellion.
Oh my god.
He's like, oh yeah, and MVP's army might be getting trapped here.
MVP is still on 136 supply, and don't forget those Vikings. They won't do SC any good.
They're there for moral support. They're cheering him on. They're like, yeah, go ground forces.
And taking out the medivacs, of course.
Yep.
Taking out the orbital command as well.
Oh yeah, that's what they're nice for.
Kind of handy for that.
Goodbye, orbital command. We knew you well. All right, so SC making do with what little resources he has. What's the income right now for these players?
Well, actually, MVP is way ahead. thanks to about 8 mules that he has right now. He just has so many bases, but he's losing a lot of them.
Oh boy.
He's losing his second one.
Oh, look at that. MVP's bio caught by the mech of SC.
And he's trying to move in again, and look at that. Is he really trying to move in the main choke again at the bottom?
Oh, this is a good move in. Dropping things on the siege tanks. Very smart, but SC target firing with his tanks, trying to make the best of it. But this is looking pretty good for MVP right now. He's going to be able to kill those factories.
Finally, he's getting into the main base of his opponent and able to take out those production buildings.
This is huge. This is the break that MVP was looking for. If he can kill these production buildings, which it looks like he can, this could be the end of the game right here.
Because SC is now forced to go into that base trade scenario that we predicted a little bit earlier already. MVP so far didn't use Medivacs or any idea in order to get into his opponent's main base, but
just a little bit late.
He was able to break that and is now clearing the tanks of his opponent as well in the middle of the map. SC losing so many units right now.
Yeah, SC suddenly about 50 supply down himself, and I think MVP's done it. His style worked out well. He was patient, and GG, a well-earned win for I'm MVP.
Although that was a little bit weird at times.
Yeah, well, very deceptively done by MVP. I mean, really playing things interesting, deciding to attack army to army, trying to position it, stimulate, engage from the sides, and just wait for that opportunity. You know, wait for his chance to push in and kill the production buildings, because once you do that, it's basically checkmate. SC, though, played that pretty well. They did a good job, but I think in general, right now at least, I think Bio is a little bit better than Mech on that map specifically. Very interestingly done, though.
The thing that won MVP of the game is that when he was maxed out, that he built all those command centers. Without like 8 or 9 command centers,
yeah, well, that's what you have to do, yeah.
He would have lost that game because he forced SC just to be all over the map, try to kill the SCVs, try to kill the bases. And MVP, I still feel in the middle of the game, he should have dropped a lot more. He should have tried to just run past his opponent's army, instead just facing the tanks straight ahead when they are in siege mode already. He lost a lot of bio at that time.
Yeah, it was a very conscious decision by MVP not to go for the drop play. You know, he felt confident in his ability to move the army around the map well enough and engage. And yeah, any Terran who's playing Bio versus Mech and isn't making a ton of command centers is definitely doing it wrong. So MVP obviously knows what he's doing as far as Bio versus Mech goes there. But it's interesting. There's kind of 3 distinct styles in Bio versus Mech right now. You've got what I'll call the MMA style, which is where you do a lot of drop play like you were talking about, try to keep the opponent contained in his base even after he's maxed out, playing really defensively and limiting the economy. There's we'll call it the MVP style for just the case of the example, where you keep your army all in one big blob, move around the map on a big open map like Teldrim and try to get positional advantages on your opponent's mech army. And then there's the third style that I've only seen once, which is, I'll call it the Boxer style. If you remember recently, there was a TVT that Boxer won, where he actually had about half his bio army in Medivacs and dropped it on the siege tanks and was able to win army to army in that case, which is something that I've never really seen before. So really, it seems like Terrans are picking one of those 3 styles, and MVP is just going for that army versus army, but in a very positional guerrilla warfare type of way. Worked on that map, but that really is the only map that would work on, so we'll have to see what these 2 guys have planned for Calm Before the Storm here on map 2.
And we are heading into that map in, right now the countdown started, ladies and gentlemen. MVP is up ahead with 1-0 against SC. And the second game will start soon. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the next match on Calm Before the Storm in a few moments.